The street you were born on has a name, but nobody outside of Small Heath has ever heard it. It is 1919. The war ended 12 months ago. You came back from France with both legs, which makes you one of the lucky ones. 3 men from your street did not come back. Nobody talks about them anymore. That is how it works here. Birmingham is not London. It does not pretend to be. The streets are black with factory smoke. The canals run slow and dark. The men who live here work, drink, fight, and keep their eyes down when authority walks past. You watched your father do this your entire life. You decided a long time ago that you would not. You are 19 years old. You shine shoes outside the Garrison pub on Watery Lane. You watch everything. Who comes in, who leaves quickly, who whispers to who. There is an order here that has nothing to do with the law. The Peaky Blinders run Small Heath. Not loudly, not with announcements. The betting shops are theirs. The street corners are theirs. The silence that falls when one of them walks into a room is theirs. You run a message for one of them once, a folded piece of paper. You don't open it. That is noticed. A week later, you run another one. Same way. That is noticed too. You are now inside the outermost edge of something. You don't have a name for it yet. Your first real job is on the racetrack. You manage the board, relay the odds, watch the crowd. You see how money moves before a race and after one. You see how certain men know things before the finish line confirms them. You file that away. You don't ask questions. Questions are for people who don't know how to watch. You get into your first fight protecting the takings on the way back from the track. 2 men from across the cut think the bag is an opportunity. You put one of them down before the other runs. Your hands are shaking afterwards. You don't let anyone see that. You were given a razor the following week, not as a weapon, as a symbol. You sew it into the peak of your cap that same night. The way people move around you on the street is different the next morning. Slightly, measurably. You notice this and say nothing about it. Your role expands. You collect from shopkeepers on 3 streets. Most pay without a word. One doesn't the first time. He does the second time. You didn't raise your voice. That surprised you. You start to understand that fear is mostly anticipation. The moment itself is rarely the thing. It is the days before it that do the real work. You are 21 years old. You sit in the back room of the Garrison on Thursday evenings. 6 men. 2 of them you've known since childhood. 1 of them you don't fully trust. You keep that to yourself. Decisions are made without votes. Authority here is not elected. It is demonstrated over time, and then it simply exists. A man from Birmingham City Police comes to see you, not to arrest you, to talk. He wants information. In exchange, certain activities on your streets will receive less attention. You listen to the whole proposal. You tell him you'll think about it. You already know your answer, but you make him wait 3 days before you give it. That is worth more than the answer itself. You are part of a delegation that travels to a meet in Worcestershire. 6 men, 2 motor cars. You sit at a long table in a cleared pub. You say nothing the entire meeting. You watch hands. You watch eyes. You watch who defers to who before they realize they're doing it. The agreement that comes out of it holds for 7 months, longer than anyone expected. You are 24. You manage 4 men. You don't manage them loudly. You tell them what needs to happen and let them work out how. The ones who need constant direction don't last long in this structure. A man dies on your street. He was not one of yours. He was a message sent by someone else to someone else, but it landed in your territory, which means it landed on you. You respond within 48 hours. Quietly, precisely. Nothing further is said. You are now inside the circle, not at the center of it, but inside it. You speak when you have something to say. You have learned that silence in a room full of men who want to demonstrate their importance is its own kind of power. The money is real now. You have moved out of the house you grew up in. Your mother lives comfortably. You wear a good coat. A pub arrives as a legal opportunity. You take it, not because you are going straight, because legitimacy is a layer, not a replacement. You are 27. The old ways of holding territory through pure intimidation are giving way to something more complex: political connections, legal fronts. You have one relationship with a city councilor that both of you pretend is a friendship. You both know what it is, neither of you names it. Your instincts are no longer the instincts of a boy who shines shoes. They have been replaced by something built through 8 years of watching what works and remembering what doesn't. You no longer feel nervous before a difficult conversation. You are not sure whether that is strength or whether something has simply been used up. 31 years old. Your name is not in any newspaper, not on any official document connected to what you actually do. You are, on paper, a pub owner and a racetrack promoter. The men who know your real name, the one that means something in this city, are fewer than 20. That is by design. There are boys on Watery Lane who shine shoes outside the garrison. You have watched 2 of them for the past month. One of them opened a message you gave him and read it. You will not use him again. The other delivered it without opening it. You will remember that. The machine does not stop. It finds new people to run it. It always has. You already know which one it's going to be.